addition, but that may not be necessary now.
Yeah.
So,
9's a typo.
right.
Got it. Duly noted.
Yeah. Section C, paragraph 6. This section states sale product and paraphernalia items related to preparation or consumption of the product shall not be visible off-site or from public right-of-way. We recommend you consider whether it's the intent to avoid window displays, in which case you may wish to modify the text to indicate shall not be visible from outside the structure.
So do we want everybody seeing pipes and everything else in the windows, or?
No. You know, but they also need to be able to advertise their product.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, as far as, you know, keeping glass bongs and other stuff in windows, no.
So we should keep it,
Out of,
so it should
out
be,
of public view, like outside.
only visible from the parking lot? I don't know how you,
It's hard to regulate it from private property, which is why we were trying to say, if somebody's driving by, maybe they have a school child in there, school-aged child, having them drive by and see a bunch of hookahs, maybe isn't the best thing, but if you're pulling to the parking lot and they've got this funky shaped building and nobody else can see this window, maybe they could have pipes there.
all right, so no, that makes sense. So you can, in the parking lot, you can see what's going on, but from the public right away, you can't see it.
That was what I was trying to get to by saying it, but yeah,
I don't either, so.
Sure.
No, but I have two school-age children too, and I don't know if I really want to have that conversation with them. Hey, what's that big colorful thing on the window?
Well, that's it also. Are you gonna allow, you know, somebody that's selling it wants to put a big marijuana leaf on their window to
Yeah,
advertise or on a sign?
huh?
It's a logo.
Logo. So okay, then it beats the sign code because it's a logo. So I mean, are you then, if you do something like that, are you gonna put yourself in a spot where you're discriminating their right to advertise a product?
No, I think the way this was worded was really just to get away from having the pipes and the bongs and whatever else. Visible from the public road, so that somebody driving by doesn't have to look at it, but if you're there to utilize that business, that you're able to see what they have to offer.
So that's just actual paraphernalia. So they would still be able to put a sign up with, you know,
There'll be
Pure Leaf, like in over Newburgh, Pure Leaf, and they got the marijuana sign as their logo. Is that gonna be allowed?
I don't think I put anything in here limiting signage. Oh, I did.
Yeah, I saw something about one sign on the building and,
No paintings or murals that can distract drivers. You can't have it like on the side of a truck just left there. Your sign can't be flashing, rotating, any movement, and you can only have one sign, no freestanding sign. So the sign is permitted on the building, but not at the road.
okay.
Freestanding. Which is different than a lot of your other commercial businesses.
Yeah.
So they're still able to advertise their business. You'll still know where you're going.
Won't be directly on the road though.
Yeah.
Right.
If while we're talking about windows, you think we could maybe recommend that all windows shall be left uncovered and shall not be opaque to the public view? This way, they can't put up curtains or blinds, or so that they can block what's going on in the store.
Could you send that language to me? I did not write that down. Or
Yes.
can you repeat it?
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
So this is to stop from them like putting shades and stuff up so they can draw their shades and do whatever they want in the store, and this way when everybody drives by everybody's being kept on the up and up.
So they're not consuming in a dispensary.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think most of those places anyway, there's like a vestibule anyway, that you would have an ID or something.
Like a man trap almost. You got to go through double doors.
And you can't see anything anyway, so there's a wall.
Sorry, I'll rephrase. A person trap. I don't want to.
Well, they have that back room area.
Sorry, I can't send it to you now, Kelly. All right, go ahead, Jim.
A lot of research, that's what I'm doing, I'm gonna do research.
I know, getting there.
Everybody's got to take a field trip to Newburgh.
This is the kind of field trip we like.
Section C, paragraph 9, this section requires fencing and/or screening or security feature around the perimeter of the property. We suggest this section lead with, if required by the planning board. As some areas, fencing may not be appropriate. If, let's say, a use is located in a commercial center or mini mall structure.
Yeah, I think that should be one of those, like a site plan thing, where we have the discretion to require it or not.
Yeah, 'cause I don't really think, unless,
Well, given that we've changed the overlay too,
yeah.
or suggested that the overlay get changed, there's not many standalone stores down there.
So the next comment is section C, paragraph 12, which actually has to do with the LIO zone, which if that's going to change, really doesn't apply. So no reason to go into that. Section D, paragraph 1, we suggest this paragraph be modified as follows. Only one wall sign, again, talk about the wall sign advertising the business shall be permitted on the building, and the same shall not exceed the 10% of the size of the wall upon which the sign is located. No freestanding signs shall be permitted.
Yeah, that makes sense. It just further clarifies how I said they could have one on the building.
Right.
So-
But no 25-foot sign on the street
Right.
with, that goes back to what you were saying, Tommy.
But can they have a sign in a, what do you call that freestanding sign that has all the,
Like a multi-tenant sign?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, so take like a Woodbury, like a Shops at Woodbury that has the multi-tenant sign right outside.
good point.
Huh, good catch. So they could probably, they could have a name but not like a logo? I don't know if you want Chris's Pot Shop or... I think it's the logo is what's gonna get the kid. Mommy, what's that leaf on the sign for?
Listen, and these kids know what it is, so maybe.
It's okay. How use that one? Yeah. So what about multi-tenant
Just
signs?
the name on a,
I can note, that's a good catch. I mean, I wasn't even thinking of a directory sign or multi-tenant sign, whatever you wanna call it, so.
basically with just
I'll
a name, no
think of that,
logo.
But I think name, not logo makes sense.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's gonna be the picture, but you still want people who are gonna frequent that business so that the business gets the business that it's going to know where they're going.
Right, but you think of Signzilla by Target, and someone puts a big oak leaf up on Signzilla.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do some research on
Okay. Put your thinking cap on.
constitutional things.
Yeah, I know. That's why you've got the letters after your name.
I have to think on that, but it's a good catch up.
Section E, this has to do with the state licensing requirements and conditions surrounding the expiration and revocation of the same, of the license. We recommend you consider method of tracking this, but perhaps you put the burden on the owner. That the owner shall be required to renew the license with X number of days after expiration.
Owner of the business, correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
It's gonna be the license
Yes.
holder, which is the owner.
Yeah, I think
They're
the owner
hard
should
enough.
definitely be on them.
Yeah, and they're hard enough to get, or at least some of them are, so they're going to be on top of it.
Because is it like if it lapses, is it one of those things that you have to start the process all over?
You gotta apply again and, you know,
So they're going to want to make sure they get it renewed in time.
Yeah, I think it should all be on them.
Yeah.
Section F, this is about security. We had some suggestions on that. Say, accounts-related use regardless of location, shall take all necessary security measures at the facility permitted by a special use permit, unless otherwise required as a condition of the special use permit. The following requirements must be met and will be verified by the code enforcement officer prior to certificate of occupancy for such special use. Our comment was the requirement for verification by the code enforcement officer.
I just think as part of the special use permit, which would typically do anyway, we refer to them ESOs anyway, so they would,
It did get referred specifically to the town of Woodbury Police Department, but the board of trustees can refer to,
well, I mean in general, with the special permit, we would normally refer to ESO for comment anyway, so they would
have a say in it at that.
at that time too.
What kind of,
The law has been referred to the police department since they would be the ones enforcing it.
Yeah.
what kind of security?
Well, maybe they want panic buttons or a special safe, or the stuff's locked up at, certain
Yeah,
stuff is
no,
locked up at
I mean,
night.
that's typical, but it's not like the village is gonna say you must have this, is it?
No, it's gonna be one of those, if we refer an application to the police department, the police department's gonna say, we would like to see
Okay.
blah, 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 and we'll go to the applicant, the police department says they wanna see blah, 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 blah.
Well, there are specific security requirements that
The state,
The state's requiring?
are in this law, and most of the facilities that we've done work with thus far have wanted the security because they're an easy target, right? The
Oh,
money
yeah, of
on
course.
site, the drugs on site. So in section F of the law, we do talk about fully operational 4K camera system to be used at night. The recordings have to be kept for 30 days. In any facility where a use is established and where general public is invited, that they have to provide for a continual armed security guard presence while the facility is open to the public. Usually when you go into them, you'll notice just somebody standing there. That's it.
but like the camera requirement and stuff, yeah, the code enforcement can all verify that when it's first set up, but is that something that we'll have to write in that needs to be checked on yearly renewal?
Well, we do, in your special permits, we have them on an annual renewal, so he's supposed to be doing an inspection yearly. And if there's no complaints, then
Right, just because there's no complaints doesn't mean it's being done.
so there's no requirement that they be inspected annually.
Then if we're going to initially say that, you need to have these requirements in order to operate and get your special permit, because of like you said, they're easy targets, legal drugs on site, let's be specific, that they be re-inspected once a year and prove that the requirements are still being met.
Got it.
So you could just put a checklist on the inspection.
Yeah, just like the yearly fire inspection and all that other stuff they have to go through,
I said, you make it sound so easy. Just put together a little checklist.
make a checklist.
Add another
Make
box.
sure you get
I'll do it before I go to bed.
Come on, it's like,
go for the inspector, so
go ahead, sorry.
Section F, about the security, you actually already covered it. It was referring this to the ESOs for review and comment. So you said if they do special use, you'd refer it to ESO, so it's
Yeah.
already covered in that. Section G, we just suggest you replace village engineer with designated inspector, which could include the village engineer or anybody else that you decide to do the inspection. And then lastly, has to do with the amendments to off-street parking requirements, which are included in the law. And capture parking for customers and employees, and where it may be appropriate, and the units suggested are attempt to be consistent with other recommendations within the law. So the cannabis medical dispensary, 1 per 150 square feet of, and we suggest not gross leasable floor, but customer service area. And 2 per 3 employees on the premise at any one time, or any one period of time, or as per required by the planning board. And the cannabis micro business facility, the parking, 1 per 150 square feet of customer service area, being consistent with the one above, and 2 per 3 employees, or as required by the planning board. And cannabis retail dispensary, 1 per 150 square feet of customer service area, and 2 per 3 employees on the premise at any one time, or required by the planning board.
I did ask Phil if he could do a quick calculation. What do you think?
Yeah, I looked at what Jim had put together, and I agree with those recommendations. I would, focus it on the customer area and then number of employees, so I think those are fine.
Okay.
And they're consistent with what I've seen in other areas.
I was going to ask, have you done work
Yes.
with other, okay. Because it's new for us, so.
And would there be a maximum occupancy by customers based on the site?
Yeah, I think the maximum occupancy would be by the fire code.
It's the same as any business. You only can have it based on the size of the building, so, yeah.
That's implicit, we don't need an explicit.
That's implicitly, that's when it goes to the building department review. Any other feedback, comments, questions, concerns?
I have a question.
Yeah.
How does is this like like if there's smoke inside, like I'm thinking like if there's like a place in Monroe that's like a cigar bar, how does that work with like the smoke system and any ventilation?
Well, for smoke system, usually what they'll do is they'll put heat rise sensors in instead of smoke sensors. So you'll have the rate of rise over, that will take care of that.
As far as exhaust.
I don't know. I don't know if cigar bars are they required to have air purification systems to change the air out?
I don't know.
I know, like, that's true. If you go to a cigar bar, right, you're not sitting in cigar smoke.
Yeah, they gotta have some kind of exhaust system sucking the smoke out.
Whenever I've been in one, I've been sitting in surrounded by smoke.
Really?
There is some smoke in there, but.
Yeah, but you're not walking in.
considering-
It's not banked down to the floor like the place is on fire.
Not like bars used to be back in the day, when everybody smoked at the bar.
You know, open the front door and the smoke rolls out and the fire department's pulling up because they think the place is blowing out.
I mean, I'm sure there's something. I would, again, defer to the fire code. I just don't know.
Special.
I guess that would probably be up to the establishment also, if they want to put that in.
I would think that the state would have.
I was going to say, does state have anything on that?
I can look. I just don't know.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Rich, you had something too?
No, I was gonna say that it was once a mobile unit in Vermont,
Yeah, he's still around.
so we don't have to address that or.
That would be
We already
implicitly.
did address the mobile, didn't we?
No.
Yeah, it says no mobile sounds over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're implicitly denying them with the law. So,
Yeah. He's been kicked out of everywhere from what I've heard.
yeah. Any other feedback or concerns or questions? Okay, so I'll offer a motion to have council draft a letter with our recommendations to the village board.
Won't be ready by tomorrow.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One down.
Two more. I promise these aren't as
These
bad.
aren't as bad.
These aren't as bad. Local law number 20 of 2023, CR District Restaurants, referral of local law number 20 from the Village Board of Trustees amending Chapter 310 zoning of the Code of the Village of Woodbury to allow restaurants as permitted use in quarter residential zoning districts. Ms. Norton?
Yes, so basically that's what it does. It changes, the zoning for, do you still have the zoning map up?
I did. I don't know what the heck I just did. Yes, I do.
It's the little orange areas. So it's pretty much down, straight down Route 32 that's like speckled.
See
And
these-
it would permit restaurants to be on those, lots in orange.
So these little orange areas on 32, it's only on 32. It doesn't,
It's only.
Doesn't go up to the resident? I
No.
don't have any Eddie's ever managed that.
pre-existing non-conforming.
Okay.
Use is now lost. So like what happens is like the savory.
Yeah, that's.
That was a
yeah, they
pre-existing,
lost.
that was a pre-existing non-conforming. They lost the use because it went out.
Yep.
And this would bring that use back to
Yeah.
those types of areas.
And I think this is gonna be one of the comments that Jim has, is that I put in this law some proposed bulk regulations, and for something like Savory Grill, it may not comply with what is currently existing there, so that's something that has to be looked at. These were really just what I saw from other districts and how, what I saw, what the board saw from other districts, and how that related to other uses within the corridor residential district. So there might be some, work that needs to be done on the specific bulk regulations for that.
Okay.
But,
Jim? What she said?
We actually did not pick that up. We,
yeah, I take it back, that's all me.
So make sure you include that in your own comment letter?
Yes.
Well,
We had really no real substantial comments other than, just the law is concisely written and provides the necessary information for regulating restaurants in the CR zone. And the zoning table, the rear yard requirement is 20 feet, which is less than other uses in the CR zone, but when we look, which are required to be 50 feet, but when we looked at other districts where restaurants are permitted, it's 20 and 30 feet are permitted. So therefore, this is consistent with other zones, restaurants in other zones.
So I guess you'd want to, well, but the only difference is quarter residential backs up to residential in most areas.
yeah.
So I can see wanting to have the deeper setback there.
If it is backing up against
Well,
residential.
that's where CR is. If you look at
Okay.
CR, it
It's all
backs,
backed up to
it backs up to residential.
Yeah, it's pretty much all R1 and R,
So I would think, I would want a bigger distance between the restaurant and my house
Absolutely.
than
A deeper rear yard.
a deeper rear yard to create that buffer. Yeah,
Might have enough
so I would keep the 50.
well, I think that if we use Savory Grill as an example, we then have to look at the pre-existing non-conforming building regulations for structure to see, because if they were to propose that, I don't think they would be proposing any changes to that. I don't know, I'd have to look at it.
To be honest, Kelly, I think even if this goes through the Savory, even moving the zoning district there based on that lot,
It's such a small.
it's such a small lot, they're gonna need variance. Even if the zoning allows for it, they're still gonna need variances for setback, parking.
You're probably right.
So-
I'm not sure how much of that would even be considered pre-existing.
Yeah, I mean, so I would personally like to see, keep the 50 feet, and if they wanna do it, then
They gotta get a variance.
they gotta go and try to get a variance and prove the hardship. Anybody
No, I'm good with that.
Can parking be required to be in the rear lot, with the rear yard?
You can.
There's no off-street parking that faces 32.
That's gonna be tough.
I didn't hear what you said.
That require rear parking in the CR for restaurants.
Yeah, no
Do you
front
require
lot.
rear parking?
Yeah. I mean, it can get put in, I just don't know if it's going to, I mean, the village board's gotta think about that.
I mean, hell, you look at the diner, that's not parking in the rear, right?
Right.
You
And
know?
listen, we can recommend it, and it'll be up to the village board
Yeah.
if they want to take that out or make any changes to that. Because again, after all, it's just our recommendations to them.
I don't think we want to recommend things that we know aren't going to go.
Yeah, I'm not for that one
We want,
myself.
we want all of our recommendations to be serious and
Yeah.
considered seriously.
Okay, you're not wrong. I'm mentally driving up and down
Yeah.
32 now, and
Yeah, because if you think about it, I mean, if there's any kind, well, half of them don't even have a rear you can park.
right,
at.
but you think Menchie's, the Chinese food restaurants,
Yeah,
all of those.
It's all on-street
It's
parking.
all either on street, like the Chinese
really-
food restaurant is in the side yard.
I mean, really, if you look at it, it's Mario's is the only one that has the rear parking.
Yeah.
And if you consider, it's really not rear because it's right on 105.
True.
It's such a broken, from a planning point of view, it's just broken street front,
Yeah.
that it's, to not try and think about that. I'm just-
I mean, they're gonna have to come in for site plan review anyway, so we're gonna have to address parking anyway. So I think if we recommend the 50-foot rear, I think that's a hurdle to begin with. I think we should just keep the 50-foot and then not require parking. We'll address parking as
Yeah, part of per case.
as part of,
basis.
they come in
Case by
for,
case.
case by case as they come in.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yes to the 50 feet in the rear, no to the only parking in the rear.
Correct. 49 and a half feet in the rear.
That's a lot more tight.
Any other comments, questions, or concerns?
Nope.
I'll offer a motion to draft, I have council draft a letter of our recommendations to the village board. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. And then the last but not least is local law 21 of 2023 to repeal local law 14 and 15, referral of local law number 21 from the Village Board of Trustees amending, repealing Village of Woodbury local laws numbers 14 and 15 of 2023 related to architecture review and ridge preservation. This is the Village Board repealing the laws that moved the Planning Board taking care of ridge pres and ARB to the Building Department and bringing it back to the Planning Board.
So we're back on.
Well, if this goes through, we're back on. I have no comments from consultants. I didn't ask for any. Kelly?
I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with us taking it back.
Questions, comments, concerns, feedback?
Generally, we talk about it on all the cases anyway, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess you don't have to draft a blank letter to yourself?
That you find it satisfactory,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or that you have no comments or?
Authorize, make a motion to have council draft a letter that we have no recommendations. Second?
Good as is.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye. I second.
Hold on, I wasn't done yet. I do want to wish everybody that is going to start the celebration of Hanukkah tomorrow night a very happy Hanukkah, a very happy Christmas, Festivus, Kwanzaa, and whatever other holidays that are celebrated this season. And I will see everybody
Next year.
next year. Motion to close. Any questions? All in favor? Aye.